Today I'll provide an audio description of an artwork called Interior with View of Buildings by the artist Richard Diebenkorn. Richard was an American painter who was born in 1922 and died in 1993. His paintings combine representational subjects like people and landscapes in an abstract painting style that seems more rooted in feeling rather than attempting a perfect representation. Richard liked to paint open spaces and sparse environments because he preferred to be in places like that. I think that desire for solitude comes out in his paintings. He also had an experimental approach to painting, trying out ideas and covering over them while sometimes intentionally leaving the before and after all on the surface in the end. I hope to capture his love of solitude and his trial and error approach to painting in my description today. Interior with View of Buildings is an oil painting on canvas. It's 84 inches long and 67 inches wide, so it's a more vertical composition that's fairly large. It was given to the museum as a memorial gift on behalf of Edwin and Virginia Irwin in 1964, just 2 years after Richard painted it in 1962. This painting is a scene of a room inside a building featuring part of a chair on the right side of the canvas, the corner of a table with a handheld mirror lying on the surface in the lower left corner, and a collection of paintings resting against a wall in the middle ground. Through a window located at the top is a landscape of horizontal white buildings with vertical rectangular windows and a clear blue sky. It's almost equally divided into 3 horizontal parts, all featuring different shades of blue. I'll go into more detail from the top and work my way down. The top third is a scene that lies outside the window of the room. Aside from a little strip of medium shade blue at the very top, there's a large horizontal block of light blue with some rough white brushstrokes throughout to imply the presence of clouds. The biggest buildup of white brushstrokes is in the top right part of the sky. Below the sky is a group of flat, horizontal buildings painted very loosely in white paint, with darker accents to create shadows from the sunlight. It's hard to tell how many buildings there are, since they appear nestled within each other by the way they were painted, but there are several. They all have dark, vertical windows painted in dark colors. The building on the left has shadows covering the front in a grayish blue, while the one in the middle has a blue triangle-shaped shadow on the side to our left. There's a blob of green in front of the middle building that looks like a shrub or a tree, and there are 2 treetops behind the building on the right side. This part seems like an example of when Richard would redo a corner of a painting and leave the evidence of the old look behind. Here, the shadow at the top of the building on the right seems like it was originally part of the tree behind it, as if he decided on the fly to paint another building instead of showing more of the tree. Below the buildings is a thin band of light orange, maybe showing the road or the edge of the windowsill. In the middle third, Richard uses a deeper, darker blue to paint the wall of the room. On the left, there are a few pictures resting on the floor against the wall, and they extend half of the width of the overall composition. They look like paintings or drawings of Richard's because they have his abstract style. The one in the front is the one with the most detail. It shows a light-skinned person with dark hair in profile view from behind, looking out at the same buildings that I described a moment ago, but their facial features are hard to make out. On the right, and moving closer to us, is a thin framed chair with a brown cushion. It's angling toward our right and off the surface of the painting, so Richard only shows us part of the chair. The floor creates the lower third of the painting in a dark blue, almost black. Along with the paintings and the chair is the corner of a table in the bottom left corner of the painting. The corner of the table makes a right angle, basically creating a square in the bottom left corner. The vertical edge of the table moves away from us toward the middle of the painting, with the horizontal edge just barely covering the edges of the paintings resting against the wall of the room. It's made up of light shades of pink, orange, and blue, with a streak of white along the long edge of the table. Resting on the edge near the corner of the table is a handheld circular mirror that is black around the edges. In the mirror, you can see a partial reflection of what lies outside, but it looks like a strip of blue, a strip of orange, and a half circle of light blue. It has a long, dark handle. At this point in his career, Richard was interested in painting places that were quiet and still, recreating a sense of what it feels like to enjoy that kind of solitude. What did you notice or feel as you were listening to my description today?